The Mother Dew. The most famous legend from the Isle of Man is that of the Mother Dew, or the Black Dog of Peel Castle. Long ago, Peel Castle was guarded by soldiers. The soldiers used to stay in the guard room, where they would relax when they were not on duty. Beside the guard room, there was a dark underground tunnel that led to the captain's room. At the end of each day, one of the soldiers would lock the castle gates and carry the key through the dark tunnel to hand to the captain. The soldiers used to take turns to do this. One day, the soldiers began to notice a strange black dog wandering around the castle. The dog was huge and had a shaggy coat. No one knew where the black dog came from. It seemed to have appeared out of thin air. The soldiers believed the dog was supernatural. They called it the Mother Dew. One evening, as the soldiers were sitting and talking in the guard room, the Mother Dew appeared through the dark tunnel and entered the room. The soldiers were terrified. But the dog ignored them and went over to lay by the fire. It stayed there quietly until morning, then got up and disappeared back through the tunnel. The next night, the dog came back, and every night after that. The soldiers soon got used to the sight of the Mother Dew, but it still made them nervous. They stayed quiet when it was around, and no bad words were spoken. The soldiers started to go in pairs to bring the keys to the captain. No one wanted to meet the Mother Dew on their own in the dark tunnel. However, one evening, a foolish soldier began to boast that he was not afraid of the Mother Dew. To show how brave he was, he said that he would take the keys to the captain on his own. He dared the dog to follow him. "Let him follow me," he shouted, laughing. "I'm not afraid of a mutt." His friends tried to stop him, but he snatched up the keys and went into the tunnel. The Mother Dew slowly got up from its place at the fire and followed him into the tunnel. There was a deathly silence in the guard room. The soldiers knew they should try to help their friend, but they were too afraid to move. Suddenly, a terrible scream was heard coming from the tunnel. Ah! A few minutes later, the foolish soldier staggered back into the room and fainted into his friend's arms. His face was pale and twisted with fright. He died 3 days later, never telling anyone what happened to him in the tunnel. The Mother Dew was never seen in Peel Castle again. However, some believe the Mother Dew still haunts the Isle of Man to this day. People say they've spotted a strange black dog wandering parts of the island.